This is the Black Pot,
Yabo!
aka Kukushunum, where we speak truth to power. And my name Black Rasta. Now we're here. We speak truth to power. And we never criticize. But if we must criticize, it will be on one condition: to build and not to destroy. That is why we say we are in the service of God and country. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunum, where we speak truth to power. This is the Black Pot, aka Kukushunum, and I'm most excited to be with you, my brother, my sister. Now, today we have a number of issues to look at as usual, and we are going to keep it very brief so that we'll be able to go straight up to the point and deal with the issues. My brother, my sister, the very first story I want to look at is right here, and I need you to open your ears and listen with rapt attention. My brother, my sister, the very first story we are looking at today is taken from my brother, my sister, 3news.com, and it says anti-gay bill. Parliament won't consider Akufo Addo's ministerial nominees until after Supreme Court case is done. And I read it. The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, has said that Parliament will not consider the ministerial nominees of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo until after the Supreme Court has finished hearing the suit against the anti-gay bill. Now, the Speaker said this on the floor of Parliament on Wednesday, March 20, while responding to the letter written to the House by the President's Secretary, Nana Bediatio Asante, asking the Clerk of Parliament not to remit the bill to the President. In alignment with our constitutional mandates and the principles of good governance, it is essential for the President to adhere to the lawful course of action by accepting the transmission of the bill. Upon receipt, the President has the constitutionally provided options to assent to the bill, refuse it, or seek further consultation as deemed necessary. As we move forward, it is the collective responsibility of all branches of government and indeed all citizens to uphold the Constitution and ensure that our democratic practices are not only preserved but strengthened. My brother, my sister, I leave it here. Honorable members, that is the voice of Alban Bagbin anytime he needs to make a very important statement. Honorable members, in the light of this process, the House is unable to continue to consider the nominations of His Excellency the President in the spirit of upholding the rule of law until after the determination of the application for interlocutory injunction by the Supreme Court. I am excited that we are having an intellectual discourse. It's the same law we are applying. Mr. President decided that he will not assent his signature to the so-called anti-gay bill, primarily because he had already promised the Vice President of America, Kamala Harris, that I will show Ghanaians where power lies. Let them finish all their talk. Let them do whatever they want to do and pass the bill in Parliament. At the end of the day, I am the Almighty. The bill will come to my table for my signature, and we shall see the ghost that will sign that bill into law. In fact, it is dangerous for our democracy. This is what I call infiltration into our territory. Mr. President, who claims that he's a Christian, who would go all the way to Israel and hold the so-called Wailing Wall and cry to God wearing the Jewish hat, promising God the God of the Bible, the God of Israel, that if he wins power, he will serve him to the letter and even build him a cathedral. He forced us to raise money to build that cathedral. At the time that we were all sick and totally inundated in poverty, Mr. President wanted to have his way. They slapped our cringing brows with the so-called e-levy. Taxes more than multiplied unprecedentedly in the history of this country. In fact, Mr. President became a tax collector. I am not against taxes in any way, as long as those taxes are used in the interest of the nation. But we can't even trust our leaders, the tax collectors. My brother, my sister, a man who promised to build a cathedral for the God of the Bible and was able to get Christian leaders to believe in his hypocrisy and lampooning. My brother, my sister, he got all the Christian leaders that matter in the country to support his fraudulent faith. At the end of the day, God decided to test his faith using two parameters. Number one, he threw down coronavirus. And when corona landed in this country, it shredded the cathedral into bits. Now, the man who designed the cathedral was not let loose. In fact, he had to go through sexual and rape allegations. My brother, my sister, today, he doesn't even want to be associated with the cathedral. He has seen that God is angry with the cathedral and angry with anybody who has anything to do with that cathedral. Anybody who aligns with the cathedral, my brother, my sister, it's like in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. When the fire is coming, it starts burning them first. Now the secretary of the so-called trustees board was not spared either. He had a dual criminal identity. 2 different mothers, 2 different days of birth. It's only a dirty criminal who would do that. Yet they call him a man of God. In our country, men of God do not exist anymore. Just a few. They are all gods of men. My brother, my sister, a cathedral that was promised God all the way in Jerusalem, Israel. That cathedral, God himself got angry with that and decided that it will never happen. Anybody who wanted to do it will turn into a pillar of salt. He turned a lot of them into pillars of salt, beginning with a J, say a J. My brother, my sister, the designer of the cathedral, sexual and rape allegations, slapping him left, right, and center, to the point that the Queen of England wanted to even suspend his knighthood. He had taken enough embarrassment. Now he has gone under the carpet, cold like ice. Reverend Kusi Boateng, the so-called secretary of the trustees board, has received his portion of the shame of the Sodom and Gomorrah, aka the cathedral, my brother, my sister. And even proper men of God decided to resign. Ray Eastwood Anaba, Archbishop Duncan Williams, and many more. Even Pastor Mensa Otabil distanced himself from this Sodom and Gomorrah of a cathedral. Now God is still not happy. He decided to test the president. Now gay issues have come. It's clear in the Bible that you believe in that God is against homosexuality, and that according to the Bible, the president who says he believes in the Bible today is running away from the laws of his biblical God. What a hypocritical, dangerous, dirty-minded president. My brother, my sister, well, people would always beat people to their own game. Today, Alban Bagbin says, any new nominees that you bring to parliament, we are unable to deal with those until the Supreme Court has been able to finalize issues. Today, my brother, my sister, I am hurt and sad. You know what is going to happen? When two elephants fight, it is the grass that suffers. The nation is going to be held backward. We are going to retrogress, all because two elephants are fighting. My brother, my sister, things are going to start slowing down in the country even more, all because two elephants are fighting. My nation, Ghana, is the country that is going to suffer. It's a bad precedent. And the president thought he was smart. But some other people have smarted him. And Ghana is the country that will suffer. My brother, my sister, we will continue keeping our ear to the ground. Any updates that come, by the grace of the Most High, we will bring that to you. In the interim, I commend Parliament. At least Parliament has been able to show the arrogant president that he is not God. So arrogant. Stinkingly arrogant. Stinking arrogance, my brother. He stood in the full glare of the world and told Kamala Harris, don't worry, that bill, let them pass it in Parliament. At the end of the day, it will not matter. It will have to come on my table and I will play the Almighty. What an arrogant president. My brother, my sister, this man is not deserving to be called president. I am so ashamed of him as my president. And I will say this 1,000,000,000 times. I still do not understand why so many MPs will sit in Parliament representing all the constituencies in Ghana and pass a bill. And instead of having the president sign it outright, because the whole Ghana has agreed, the veto of the president is bigger than the whole of Ghana. He can decide against the over 30 million people of this country not to sign a bill that has been agreed by the nation. I still cannot understand what kind of dirty power the Constitution has given to such an arrogant infidel. I leave it here. Now, next thing I want to look at is taken from City Newsroom. And it says, it's unfortunate Bawumia accused GRA of harassing businesses. And this is a tax analyst speaking. Now, Geoffrey Kabute Okansi, a tax analyst, has expressed disagreement with the vice president's comments on the Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, describing them as unfortunate. On Wednesday, March 20, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, that's yesterday, accused the GRA of harassing businesses under the pretense of tax collection. He voiced these concerns during a discussion with members of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry as his manifesto committee is formulating ideas for the 2024 elections. Dr. Bawumia attributed the current situation to the GRA's practice of setting unrealistic targets for its officers, which leads them to excessively tax existing businesses. I leave it here. I have never seen a pretender like Mahmoud Bawumia. A very dangerous pretender. My brother, under his watch, as the mates of the Trotro called Ghana, with the driver called Nana Akufo Addo, arrogance and pretense came into play, and the country has started retrogressing geometrically. Hear me now, brethren. Under the watch of the economic whiz kid, in fact, a blacksmith that we mistook for Adam Smith. My brother, my sister, we have had unprecedented taxes slapping Ghanaians. You didn't have a problem with that. A levy came, you ran like a wild frog into your ditch. hiding and croaking. After croaking so gutturally, talk to me now. You are claiming that the GRA is harassing businesses. Who gave the GRA the power to harass? Look at Bawumia. He wants to be president. So now he wants to put up a very cosmetic face of innocence and treachery. What a dirty-minded vice president. Are you following? Look at the number of taxes we have in Ghana. So unprecedented. Not even the days of Julius Caesar did we ever have these number of taxes on the people. The people were so much taxed, they ran to Jesus Christ and said, "Oh Jesus, shall we pay our taxes? There are too many and we have been inundated in taxes." Jesus said, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's, and give unto God what is God's." When you look upon the coin, the money, whose face do you see there? They said it's Caesar. So give unto Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and give unto God what belongs to God. That's what Jesus Christ told the people. Too much taxes. But listen, the taxes we have in Ghana, they are more than 100 times more than the taxes in the days of Jesus Christ. The other day I went to Labadi somewhere to buy food for a friend. And when we got in there, after eating whatever friend wanted to eat, they brought me the bill. I still have the bill. Anywhere I go, I carry it and I parade it. And this was about a month ago. Hey, they had taxes for entertainment. They had taxes for things, my brother, my sister, that are so nauseous. My brother, my sister, in these times, we are paying taxes and we don't even understand what those taxes are. Now, the thing that slapped me so much on that paper, they said GRA tax. What the hell of an animal is GRA tax? Ghana Revenue Authority tax. This is the tax collecting agency, my brother. And we have to pay tax to the tax paying collecting authority. GRA tax. Anywhere you go to shop, make sure you get a receipt and check it out. You will see GRA tax. Ghana Revenue Authority tax, entertainment tax, cockroach tax, fraud tax, my brother, my sister, slave queens tax is all in there. My brother, it is so annoying. Bawumia didn't see all this. Now he's running after GRA that we are paying taxes to and for, to say you are harassing businesses. What a hypocrite. I don't know how many people are listening. Ghanaians have been taken for fool for far too long. These politicians think that Ghanaians have no common sense. The only use they have for you is your thumbprint. And if all Ghanaians had their thumbprints cut off, politicians will never even look your direction. I'm speaking in parables. That is why you would have idiots come to tell you that they will take the sea to Kumasi. That idiots can come and tell you, don't ask me for the source of my money. Just believe that I have it. And I have it. Jesus, I feel insulted. I feel so insulted that I've lived to see these charlatans and urchins parade themselves as leaders. What a shame. Can you believe this? You saw the e-levy, you were quiet. You saw them taxing the poor, you were quiet. You believed that the poor should not be taxed. But under your watch, we saw all these things happen. Now you have all of a sudden found your voice. Oh, the GRA is harassing businesses because you want to be president. Now you are pretending to be with the people. What a shame. Now, my brother, my sister, I want to leave right now. My time is up to go. But I want to look at the last thing, and I am done. Now, this one I'm reading from my own treenews.com. Oh my God. And this one is supposedly coming from the majority speaker in parliament, Afenyo Markin. Letter to clerk on anti-gay bill. You have no right to denigrate Akufo Addo. Majority tells Bagbin. And I read it. The majority in parliament has told Speaker Alban Bagbin that he is at liberty to express an opinion on the actions of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo Addo in relation to the anti-gay bill. But in expressing his opinion, he should be mindful not to denigrate the president. The majority criticized the speaker for the way and manner he described Mr. Akufo Addo in his reaction to the letter that was written to the parliament by the secretary to the president on this particular bill. Speaker Bagbin had told President Akufo Addo that his refusal to accept the transmission of the anti-gay bill to his office is a departure from established democratic practices. You see, Afenyo Markin and the rest of them, they are all boot-licking urchins. They don't mean well for Ghana. And I am angry. I will say this 1,000,000,000 times. Were they here when Akufo Addo, the ostrich of a president, were they here when he told Kamala Harris in the full glare of all Ghana and the rest of the world? Don't worry, madam. Let them do their shenanigans in parliament. After they are finished with their shenanigans, they will bring this to my table and I will play the Almighty. It's an insult to the parliament and to all parliamentarians, including the Speaker of Parliament, such an arrogant president. At the point, the majority never said that the president had looked down on the August House. But today, when well-meaning, witty people with common sense and brain and loyalty for Ghana are speaking and whipping the president into line, my brother, my sister, you have people like Afenyo Markin come out and say, don't denigrate the president. And when we want to find out what he means by denigrating the president, the thing is that Alban Bagbin supposedly said that the president is departing from the norm of economic and democratic proceedings as laid down. In other words, established democratic practices. That is denigrating the president. But you don't see the president behaving like a stooge, the stoogish president, the house nigger of a president, talking to Kamala Harris and saying, hey, why are you worried about parliament at all? Parliament should have impeached the president immediately. How can you look down on the parliament? When you look down on parliament, you are looking down on the whole country, because those parliamentarians do not have any power of their own. They are living and dwelling on borrowed power from the people. He denigrated parliament. He insulted parliament by telling